I knew the moment that I had to leave nursing. I just knew it. I felt it in my bones. It was in my spirit. I was just tired. I dreaded going to work. I would just pull up in the parking lot, and I knew I didn't want to be there. So I knew I had to come up with a plan and come up with a plan quickly. And that I did. And I made my plan, I formulated it, and I worked towards it. And when I was close enough to retirement, I took an early retirement and I left. Yes, it was scary, but I knew I had to do it. And believe me, it was well worth it. It was the best move I ever made coming to the Dominican Republic. And believe me, those 12-hour shifts were wearing me out. I could not function. My bones were hurting me. It was just too much. I dreaded the 12-hour shifts. I dreaded going to work. I got to work and I just felt like getting in my car and turning around. Actually, that I did more than once, and it's just faxing my resignation. So if you are one of those nurses and you've had those thoughts, trust me, I've been there. Really, I have. You're not alone. And when I made the move to the Dominican Republic, it was the best move that I ever made, and I have not regretted it. For those of you who don't know who I am, if you're new to my channel, my name is Colleen. I'm a registered nurse, and I worked in the healthcare system in the United States for over 20 years. And I realized that I just could not continue at that place anymore. So I decided to make a change, and my change was, where can I go? Where can I go that I can live and feel free, and my money still goes a long way? I came up with a few places, and I decided on Dominican Republic. So I've been living in Dominican Republic now on and off for almost 7 years, and now it's been consistent. I got married to Dominican, and now I am working on my Dominican residency. So welcome to my channel. So yeah, we're gonna go back to why Dominican Republic, you might ask. Well, I checked out Panama, I checked out Brazil, I checked out Colombia, but I just had this feeling after I came here for the first time that this was my happy place. I loved the chill vibe. Everything was tranquilo. I did not speak Spanish, so that was and still is a challenge. But after almost 8 years, I think I'm doing pretty well. I just love the sense of community. I love the culture, and there's so many places to go to here in Dominican Republic. Even though it's an island, there's a lot to do here. You can find a lot to do here if you're willing to travel. I do live in Puerto Plata, which is a little bit, it's not as built up as Punta Cana or some of the other parts of the island, but I've enjoyed myself. So what I like about DR, as I said before, is the sense of community. When I was in Florida and I was working, I never even had time to breathe, not even time to eat my lunch or my breakfast, whatever it was, whatever shift I was working. I would bring my lunch with me and I'd bring it back home. I never got a chance to run to the bathroom. I would literally, and I know a lot of you nurses can attest to this, hold my urine all day until I got home, therefore giving me, and I know this might be a little too much information, a lot of bladder infections. So I can go on and on with the then, but I want to talk about now. Now, I get up in the day and I have breakfast very early with my husband before he goes to work. And then I do my meditation. I practice my affirmations. And then after that, I'll watch some YouTube University. You guys know, if you know, you know what that is. And then I will get to my online courses. If I'm learning something, if I'm putting something together, I will go to my computer in my office, my home office actually, and I'll be there for a couple of hours until it's time for me to take a break. Now, I'm going to tell you, there has been times when I first started on this expat journey that I felt seriously guilty, like really guilty. I felt like I should be doing something, I should be running somewhere, I shouldn't be relaxing, I shouldn't be this, tranquilo as they say over here. I shouldn't be this zen. It took a long time. My husband had to say to me, hey, slow down. You don't have to go to work. It's okay. Stop feeling guilty. Relax, enjoy, go back to sleep if you want to. I could not believe that I was at a place in my life when I was able to do that. It took me a long time though, and sometimes it seems a little surreal, and I have to really keep pinching myself and say, how did I create this life? So I just want to let you know if I can do it. I'm nobody extraordinary. I like my comfort zone. I like to be around what I find comfortable, people I know, places to go, how they drive, the language they speak. And yes, it has not always been a bed of roses. It has come with a lot of challenges. But believe me, I would not trade it for anything. So, why I chose Dominican Republic? First of all, like I said, community. I love the culture, the whole family structure. Families here are really families. In the U.S., I think we kind of lost sense of family. Like, they really are. When you're dating a Dominican, you're dating the entire family. It's a strong saying here, and it's actually true. When you're married to a Dominican, you're actually married to the entire family. But after a while, you get accustomed to it. I've grown accustomed to it. Now, before I was really against it, but I've grown accustomed to it. They're not really in my face, so it's not that bad. I love the culture, like I said. I love the sense of community. I love the fact that my dollars go a lot further here. I can live on a lot less than I lived on in the States, so I can have more of my disposable income in my bank account where I can invest it, I can do other things. So that is definitely a plus. I believe right now the exchange rate is 61 to 1. And no, prices aren't overinflated like some of the other countries that I've gone to before I decided to settle on Dominican Republic. It's very, inexpensive. There are places that you can go and get a meal for 200 pesos. And I'm not talking about French fries and a burger. I'm talking about rice and chicken, salad, a whole meal, including a drink for 200 pesos. I believe they call it Plata del Dia, and I do love the arepas. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits to being here. Not that I'm saying that things have not changed somewhat since our pandemic, but it's still pretty affordable. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Dominican Republic. Now, my life as an expat has been, I wouldn't say tumultuous. I have had certain incidences that have just driven me over the wall. Like, I had to be talked down off the ledge. But when I look back and I compare it to my life before, I can't say it's worse. I don't have to watch the news every day and listen to all the terrible things that happened the night before. I don't have to worry about going to the mall and I might not make it home alive because somebody decides to come in there and do something crazy. I don't have to worry about going to the movies. There's so many comparisons that I could make that I don't have to worry about here. It's never happened here. Not that I'm saying it never will. I hope it never will. But right now, I'm not worried about it. So there are a lot of pluses. Yes, I've had times where I just felt like packing up and going back home. Like I really got homesick. But you know what? Every time I feel like I want to pack up and go back home, I write it out, all the pros and all the cons, and the pros win all the time. The pros always win. I have gone back to the States. I still have my license. I was still going back and forth and working, and there was just, after the last straw was last year, 4th of July, I just said, this is it. I'm staying in DR for an entire year and I'm not going back to the US. And I've been here a year and 4 months. So I've stuck to it. And I don't miss anything. I really don't miss anything. So how do you get here? First of all, you have to change your mindset. Number one, you have to acknowledge your burnout. You have to acknowledge that this is it for you. You can't do this anymore. Number two, you have to start making your plans. Like, what can I do to get myself out of this situation? Like, do I need to earn more money? Do I need to take on a second job? Do I need to tap into my 401k? Start making a plan and stick to it. Like, follow your plan, because the pain of where you are in your burnout should be so great that you would rather make a plan and do something that you've never done before and go somewhere that you've never lived before than where you are right now and how you're feeling. I mean, you have to know that the pain, it just hurts so much. Like, I was just there. I was there where the pain was great. Like, when you hate doing what you do, so much that you don't mind not going to work, not having any money, you know the pain is bad. Because we all want money, we all need to work, we all need to have an income. I was willing to do DoorDash. Like, I actually did DoorDash. I just did not want to take care of any sick people. I didn't want to deal with any rude doctors. I didn't want to draw any more blood and change any more dressings, or I just didn't want to do that. I wanted peace. I wanted my time back. I wanted me back. And I went and I did DoorDash. And I actually enjoyed it. You know, I like picking up food and delivering it. I would have even worked in McDonald's. That's how bad my pain was. And I know a lot of you can identify with that. You know, this isn't a fantasy. This is real. A lot of people, a lot of nurses, I wouldn't say people, a lot of nurses. And a lot of my friends are nurses. And I hear the stories all the time. And one of my nurse friends said to me the other day, "Look like you made the best choice." Because she's still doing 12-hour shifts here, running from this job to that job, having just 1 day a week off out of 7 days to take care of her personal things, do her grocery, her laundry. She barely sleeps, but she has to keep that going to pay the bills, because the bills are great and everything's gotten expensive. The next thing you have to do is research your location. I researched Panama, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Portugal. I was really doing my homework because I knew that I had made a decision. I made a decision that it was non-negotiable. I had to do something, or else I was really going to crash and burn. I was on the verge of a mental breakdown, and I knew that's not what I wanted for my life. So how did I decide on Dominican Republic? Well, I had a friend who was married to a Dominican, and he used to come back and forth all the time, and he always told me about it. And it was my birthday coming up, and he said, "I'm going to be in DR, and then why don't you come down?" And I bought a ticket, and I came down, and I stayed at a resort all by myself for the weekend. And I had such a wonderful time. I was at peace. I went to the beach. I went down for cocktails. I dressed up. I just listened to the ocean. I was at peace. And at that point, I just knew this is where I wanted to be. So I came back again, and I kept coming back, and I kept coming back, until I said, you know what? I think this is exactly where I want to be, and I'm gonna work on moving to Dominican Republic. So I joined a lot of groups, didn't have the knowledge that I know now, and that is why I'm offering, this is a shameless plug, I'm offering my free checklist that will help you. You know, it's interactive, so you can check off what speaks to you, and it'll sort of give you a picture of where you are in your readiness to make a move, whether it's a sabbatical, whether it's a long weekend, whether it's a forever move. Wherever you are, you can start there. You don't have to make up your mind that you're going to pack up and move yourself to another country right away. It will guide you. Or you can book a free call with me, and that's FREE, call with me for 30 minutes, and we can talk one-on-one. And I can sort of, throw things at you. So if you're not good with, checklists, we can talk, and we can see where you are with your burnout and your stress level and what you want to do. It's just a call that we're going to try and find out what's happening in your life, okay? I am not a therapist, but I can help you with this move if you choose to, or if you just want to visit and you need a point of contact, I am here. So that's what you need to do. Just start where you are. Always tries to protect you, right? So your subconscious is going to try to keep you in a place where it feels that you are happiest, and that's where you are. It's going to try to keep you in your familiar surroundings, with your familiar job. So your brain's going to be telling you all sorts of things. You're going to be going through am I doing the right thing? What if I don't have money? I don't have support. I don't have the time. There's going to be so many what ifs. It's always going to try to keep you where you are. Push through it. And even me, at this point in my time, I still have times where I felt like I have one foot in the United States and I have one foot in the Dominican Republic. And I really have to work through it. So you are not alone. I'm going to tell you that again. You're not alone. everything that I'm talking about, I know there's some nurse out there, and I'm speaking to the nurses because that's you or me, that you can identify. So I just have to push through it. So trust me, I have been in Dominican Republic now for quite a while, and like I said, it has not had its share of challenges, and I acknowledge that, but I would not trade it for anything. I am very happy here. I have finally settled in. I am now seasoned. I work when I want on my computer from home, and I travel when I want. I have developed a strong sense of community here with women who I probably would never ever meet. Not only women, men too. Some of the finest people I probably would never ever meet. We are a community here. We are parts of expat groups. We plan trips together. We do Friday nights, happy hours. We just try. We help each other a lot. We're there for each other. So it's really been a strong sense of community. When I lived in the States, I didn't even know who my neighbor was. I had been living somewhere for almost 8 years, and I did not know my next door neighbor. Yes, it was like that. We were in and out. I didn't know who lived next door, and I really didn't want to know. It was just not. It wasn't important to me. One thing I need to do was get up, get out the house, get in my car, and go to work or go to wherever I had to go to that day, and come home and go inside my apartment. It wasn't important who my neighbor was. So here I have learned to relax that attitude and welcome people. I still keep people, I kind of weed people out, but in general, I have a good core of friends, and we do things together, and we support each other. Whether it's phone calls, who's here, who's not here, because everybody's in the expat community where everybody's back and forth traveling. They're somewhere, they're here, they're not here. That's just the way it is. So I can compare that to the US, and I can say I never had that in the States. So I am quite happy here. I have my space. I do what I want. I spend time with my friends. I go out. I have built a life here for myself. So you can build a life outside of the United States. Yes, you can. Don't listen to the propaganda. Okay? It's all propaganda. I can tell you that. I listened to it for years. I should have made this move a long time ago. But if you want more information on moving abroad, whether it's long-term, short-term, I used to come here. I had an apartment here because it was that inexpensive. I would come for a week out of the month, and I would go back, or I'd come for a weekend. The airfares were not expensive. My apartment was not expensive. And then I said to myself, I'm actually living in 2 different countries. Wow, I never thought I could do that until I decided to make it permanent. So it's not impossible. For you, you can do it too. I'm just telling you, it's not impossible. So if you want to explore that option of living in 2 countries, or you just want to say, I'm ready to go, click the link in the description. Get on my Beacons, which is where I host my free checklist, and or my calendar, where you can book that free call with me, and we'll take it from there. Okay? So until I talk to you in my next video, don't forget to leave your comments below. I read them all, and I do respond. May not be right away, but I do respond. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a good day. Have a good time. Keep your head up. Nurse burnout is just temporary. Okay? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you then.